Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. Today is a special What's in the News episode. A lot of crazy things have happened in the last week, and let's get to the theme song. What's in the... I don't have a theme song for it. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, occasionally we'll do a What's in the News type segment to where we can kind of look and see what's going on in the world. Normally I look at British newspapers or websites and see how they're laid out and what's on what they're talking about. But today we're going to do some 3 stories. 2 of them are from here in the States, and then one of them, of course, was in Paris just a couple days ago, which was at the end. Stay tuned to the end, or just fast forward to the end. I don't care. It's awesome. But the first story we're going to talk about is, I don't know if you have heard of this. This is about the subway chokehold deal here. The New York subway system, notoriously dangerous, bad, dirty, yucky. If you ever go to New York, limit your time on there. You all have subways, tube, underground. So I'd like to know from all of you what you all think about what you think this is all about, and if this compares to anything, how bad your subways are, or if this is not even close. Maybe yours are all completely safe and all that stuff, and you don't have these sort of issues. To kind of give it a quick summary, Daniel Penny is a former Marine. He was riding the subway with on his way to the gym or something, and he was in this car with women, children, a few other people. And let me just state right now, it was mixed race, gender, ran the whole gamut. This guy came on. He threw his jacket down and started yelling and shouting and saying people are going to die today or tonight, whatever, and that he didn't mind going back to prison. And so Daniel Penny stepped in, put the guy in a chokehold. After several minutes of struggle, the guy eventually went unconscious. They got to the next stop. The police eventually showed up. The police found that he was still alive, which came out in court records, by the way. And yeah, I'm bearing the lead. Daniel Penny, was eventually charged, as the guy did eventually pass away. Daniel Penny was then charged 10 days later for manslaughter. There's a lot of speculation on why he was even charged, as the police didn't really think he warranted until the DA came back and said, you need to charge him. And this was after a couple protests by some far-left activist groups. And so it went to trial for manslaughter, which carries like 15 years. It came out in the trial that like I said, he was still alive. The police didn't administer medical treatment to him. They waited for the ambulance to get there, the EMTs and whatnot, and they kind of came out that they didn't want to touch him because he was dirty, and they didn't want to catch anything and stuff like that. I guess he was in real bad shape. This gentleman has battled mental problems. He's been arrested 40 plus times. He's been in and out of jail. Some violent actions. He's apparently allegedly had beaten up like an elderly woman. So he was, people were scared. You had body cam footage of the people on the train, women and children, all saying they're glad Daniel Penny stepped in. They felt threatened. They were scared. And so the manslaughter charge was laid upon him. The crazy thing about it was what came out in trial was the hyoid bone was still intact, so he didn't choke him to where the hyoid bone was broken, which you would normally see in a strangulation. And he was also on some illegal drugs, which contributed they think contributed to his death. They had, of course, different doctors come on and say the autopsy, looking at the autopsy report and all that stuff. The one for the prosecution said the chokehold's what killed him. The one for the defense said no, the chokehold did not kill him. It was the direct cause of it, but it may have contributed or, been a part of a bunch of other factors. So, of course, there's going to be fractured, and there's people taking sides. You have the one side who's always protesting these sort of things, and then you have the pro, he should be not guilty kind of side. A lot of activists and stuff like that who make a living on this sort of thing are over here, and some believe that the reason this case was even brought was because they were making a lot of noise. So he was in the trial. He with the first charge, they added a second charge, which is listening to attorneys talk about it. Said it was kind of highly unusual because of it's like a lesser charge of criminal negligence, which brings us like 4 years max or something, which is like basically giving the jury an out. So if you couldn't come to a decision on the serious charge, you had a lesser charge that you can convict on to, satisfy yourself or whatever, your peace of mind. I don't know what the logic is there, but they were hung on the first charge, the serious charge. So after trying to do it over and over and over, they kept saying there's no way we're going to come to a verdict. The judge threw it out. That's important. He threw it out. So he said he sent him back in for the lesser charge. Well, like within 2 hours, they came back with a not guilty verdict. So a lot of unhappy people on one side, a lot of happy people on the other side. But what this in reality does is you want Good Samaritans, people who are willing to step up and to protect the helpless, right? The innocent people, women, children, elderly. This discourages that. And so that's what the debate is going on right now. Of course, this gentleman who passed away, his father has now appeared out of nowhere and is going to sue Daniel Penny civilly for money in the death of his son. The problem is this guy has not been in his son's life at all. This guy who passed away, he has his name is Jordan Neely, by the way. He's a human life that had ended, and it's sad and it's tragic. And although the parents haven't been in his life, as this Jordan has been in foster care from an early age, his parents were never there to help him when he was homeless. They never were there to help him, when he was in and out, getting in trouble, when he has mental issues, all this thing. They weren't there. And now they're there when there's a chance to get money. At least that's how it looks. Of course, they're being probably prodded by these activist groups to get up and do all that stuff as well. So it's sad all the way around. All the way around is they probably should sue the city, the police who didn't attend medical care, the city who wouldn't take care of him mentally, have the option to get him into mental treatment. And I don't know if Daniel Penny should be the one they're suing, but he's the bad guy according to all them. But that's going to play out. So that's what happened here. It is not guilty, of course, and it's my question is, like, what would be your comparison in your subways? Is that a problem there? But this has really taken over a lot of divisiveness, as you would imagine. And you can go through and read the article, but it's apparently this guy who passed away, Jordan, he was a Michael Jackson impersonator at a younger age. But Penny has come out and said he wouldn't change anything. He would be willing to go to court every day for 100 years or whatever it was to offend the innocents. He said he couldn't live with himself if he didn't do anything, and someone had gotten hurt. So, I mean, where do we lie on this? I mean, you want people to be able to stand up, right? At least that's what I think. But yeah, interesting story. All right, let's move on. Next story, I know you've heard of. This is about Luigi Mangione, who was accused of ending the life of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week in New York City. Funny how everything happens in New York. Mangione, if he is found guilty, he's the one who shot the guy in his back. Didn't even face him, but in his back, ambushed him as he was walking out of his hotel in the morning. He fled, and he was caught in Altoona, Pennsylvania, just the other day. Someone recognized him because, of course, he put his picture out. So many cameras in New York. They had footage of him everywhere. And yeah, I won't go into detail what he was doing before the incident. It'd be interesting, and I'm sure some of you probably have followed this because I'm looking at a BBC news article on it, and I know they've been carrying it. But everything that's happened there is what it is, and I do not agree with the way this gentleman handled this. I mean, obviously, it looks. How do I even say this? It's what he felt he had to do. I think he's commented saying, yeah, he had a manifesto, which he says, I acted alone. They had it. The parasites had it coming, and it was obviously because of the healthcare. It's a statement on our healthcare, and we all know our healthcare is bad, so we don't need to get into that. Our healthcare here in the States is terrible. But doing this, committing these acts of violence is not going to change them from denying a claim. They'll put someone else in there with more security, and it has sparked a lot of debate. So I'm not going to say anything good came of this because I just find what he did just terrible. But I understand why people are frustrated. And unfortunately, this husband, father of two, had to lose his life because of one guy's felt like he was left with no other option. Again, this isn't going to change anything. So I just wish he would have thought that through. United Healthcare, that's also the insurance I have. They're, I think, the largest in the country. I get it through my wife's work. They also have the most claims that have been denied out of any healthcare, which I assume is this guy, Mangione. He suffered from back, right here. He suffered suffered from a back injury, and he's probably denied something. I don't know. I know he had surgery, but you go and have surgery, they don't pay. They won't pay for it or something, and you go bankrupt. And we all know how bad our healthcare is. I'm trying to stay away from that. That is not something I don't know. I know our healthcare is the worst. But as you've all probably know of this story, you have, of course, the NHS, and yeah, there's some negatives, but I think as a whole, it's wonderful. My question to you is, I'm looking for what if you were put in charge, if Trump put you in charge of the health department, whatever the title is, what would you do? How would you go about changing America's health care? I would like to hear your ideas. We all know it sucks, so we don't have to go into that. But what would you do if you were in charge? How would you change it? I believe I would attack the people who are making the most money off of it: the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare, insurance industry. Those are the people who are making billions of dollars off of everybody else, and those would be the ones I would attack. I absolutely love the fact that your government negotiates for drugs and the prices to keep them low. I think that's brilliant. I wish our government would do that. That could solve a lot of problems if the government got involved in the pricing of drugs. It says you can't use them, you can't sell them here if you don't, lower them or whatever. That's why I'm looking to all of you. How would you address this? Because that's the governor of Pennsylvania, where he was caught. He's going to be extradited, I believe. Or was he fighting extradition? I don't think he was. I don't know if he is. I mean, he's basically admitted to doing it. This is the gentleman that was the head of United Healthcare. It's just, this doesn't need to happen. Something else needs to be, obviously, torn down and rebuilt. But how do you do it? How do you do it? It's so entrenched. You have 330 plus million people. How does this work? I mean, we have the attempt by Obama with the ACA, Affordable Care Act, which in practice was like, yeah, this is going to be great for the people. But I know a lot of people who use it who say it's terrible. It's not cheap. It's not really affordable. The waits are outrageous. Having to get a doctor, you couldn't keep your doctor, which you were promised you could keep your doctor, and that is not true. And so I've been blessed that I don't have to deal with that because my wife's work has really good health insurance. We were Kaiser before they switched over to United Healthcare, and I had luckily gotten my colonoscopy when I was still under Kaiser. Apparently, one of my wife's coworkers now is getting a colonoscopy and with United Healthcare as the provider, and they denied him why can't I think the drug that puts you under. For whatever, I can't think of the name right now. Anesthesia. Thank you. They denied him that, and he's like, there's no way that I'm going to have a colonoscopy without being put out. And I agree. There'd be no way I could have done that without having some anesthesia. And he fought him, and they relinquished and approved his anesthesia. So it's shit like that. Oops, sorry. That you have to deal with, I guess. So we'll see. But I think my wife's work is debating whether to get rid of United and go back to maybe Kaiser or somebody else. I'm not sure, but it all sucks. It does. So what would you do? This is what I'm asking you. If you were in charge, what would you do? On to the next one. This next video is going to be awesome. Of course, we had the reopening of Notre Dame, in Paris, and everybody, a bunch of dignitaries showed up. And of course, President-elect Trump was there, and Zelensky was there, and Jill Biden was there. Not Joe, but Jill, Dr. Jill. Gotta remember to say Dr. Jill because that's how she wants you to now her name. Dr. Jill Biden was there, which there was an interaction between her and Trump, which is kind of funny. But the dignitaries from around the world were there. Prince William was there, and he was amazing, amazing. And there was a couple videos I watched. I watched a guy who he, I don't know how, but he's an expert in body language, and so I watched him kind of break down the interactions between Trump and Prince William, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's so true, and he totally made sense. So I'm going to try to show it to you what he was kind of saying. I'm not taking any credit for these comments, but this is what I got from, I even forget his name, but it was some random channel. He could have been a nobody anyway, so who knows. But it made sense to me, and I thought, well, I'm going to show it to you guys, see what you guys think, and ask for your opinions on what you thought. I'm sure you've all saw it. Of course, this is a Royal Family Channel that we're showing. Let me dart out here. Boom. Here we are. This is when he got there. This is after he shook the hand of Macron, I guess, and walked into the cathedral, and he's going down the line. And everybody on this side, or that side, whichever way he's coming from, he was shaking all their hands and saying all the niceties and stuff like that. But you'd see he'd put his hand on the shoulder, top of the shoulder of a lot of the people he shook hands with. It's kind of a dominating now. This is where I'm just kind of paraphrasing what the other guy said. It's kind of a dominating kind of like move, right? You put your hand on top of the shoulder. And he just, he puts his hand, shakes your hand, firm grip, of course, that's Donald Trump's thing. And watch what he does with Prince William here. Right there. Did you see that? Oh, what happened there? I want to go back full screen here. Let me go back. Did you see that? Right there. See this right here? He doesn't put it on top. He puts it on his chest. And that, according to this guy, is a sign of respect, a sign of warmth. And I just thought it was very interesting. Prince William's the only one he did that to. All the other dudes that he actually didn't, there's a few like the guy next to him here, he just shook his hand. But like Prince Albert, who he'd already talked to, put his hand right on top of his shoulder. A couple other guys as well. Here, he puts it on his chest. Didn't do that with anyone else. You're also going to see, watch his hand underneath with his elbow, right there. Now, he does this with others, but it's different the way he does it here. So more of a sign of warmth, respect, and just look at the face. Of course, Prince William is being amazing. We can't really see what face he's making. He could be sticking his tongue out, who knows. But we all know that Trump was a huge fan of the Queen. It is written, it is out there. He is a huge fan of his grandmother. And of course, he's got Scottish ties. And he's, I don't know, how deep those ties are. I don't. I know. I think his mother was Scottish or his something. I'm not sure, but he has Scottish ties. But just the fact that he's just two little hand gestures, hand on the chest, with the caress of the elbow. It's interesting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, really, just it completely different. And you go back and watch, completely different than the others. And I have gone back and watched several times, and it is different. A lot of them have the same moments, touch of the elbow, but the way he holds William's elbow, it's more of a like I'm holding it. Whereas the other ones are hands on the shoulder and almost like a grab of the elbow. And with William, completely different. And it's just interesting. Now, I want to get out of this. Go back here. We're going to just do this on the fly here. This is another video that I wanted to show you. This is, I guess, after the Notre Dame reopening. You can see that here's Prince William. They're going to actually have a talk. They actually talked for like 40 minutes, which is wild. I wonder what they said. I know Trump has come out and said that he was much better looking in person or something to that effect. Basically, lumping a lot of praise on Prince William. I believe they talked about his father, the king, and his and Princess Catherine, and how their health and how they're doing. And I believe they talked about that and stuff like that. And, probably talked about he can't wait to come visit. Regardless of what you hear, President Trump, whatever, he loves the royal family, and he loves England. He loves the UK. This is the power move. Now, Trump is famous for his handshake, which we saw earlier when he like arm wrestled with Macron. It was pretty funny, but he's a big, I gotta have the upper hand, if you will, in the handshake. So he'll usually grab you. Let's go forward here. He'll usually grab you and pull you in to him. Okay, so what they'll normally do is they'll shake hands, and Trump generally will pull you into him as a sign like, hey, I'm in charge here. And that's like a business power shake. That's not just unique with Trump. That is a universal thing. But watch what Prince William does. And also watch what Trump does. Boom. Prince William does the power. He out-Trumps Trump right here. He pulls Trump into him. Now, according to this body language guy, and he's also a royal etiquette guy or something, I don't know. He says Trump stayed there, waiting for Prince William to invite him in with the handshake. And that's why he stopped, and you saw Prince William pull him towards him. I love the fact that Prince William just grabbed it, pulled him right to him. Let's see it again. Boom, pull me in. And Trump allowed it. That's the thing. Trump allowed him. And watch here afterwards. The arm. He kept pulling. And Trump just allowed him to keep pulling his arm, which is so not Trump. Prince William out-Trumped the Trump right there. I just thought that was so interesting that it's just different, right? So let's just keep watching.
Good man, this one.
Good man, this one, he says.
thought everybody. It's doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. We're going to head on upstairs. Thank you.
So I just comgold these reporters running into the room. I just thought it was pretty funny. And, Trump looked like he just got done watching a movie. It's kind of how I looked Saturday night after my birthday. Just coming in and sitting on my couch like that.
On the toes up off the cathedral.
Right.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna really watch. But I just thought that was pretty funny, and that it's something that you don't really see, or if you hadn't seen it, you didn't pick up on. And I just thought Prince William out trumping Trump right there with the power shake, and Trump basically submitting. And I think that's just a sign of respect. He's like I said, he is a fan of the royal family, and regardless, I'm sure the royal family has a lot of differences of opinion, and maybe, right? That's that is what it is. But it's I just thought that was really interesting, and I can't wait for when he comes over to do his state visit. It's fun to watch. Anyway, this video, of course, isn't about Trump, so I don't need the hate. We all get it. If you don't like him, that's fine. I don't care if you don't like him. Everybody has the right to like and not like people. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about just the power move, and I think the difference from what this body language guy says, the respect that Trump was giving to Prince William, and this show of warmth, and I just thought it was completely different than any of the other guys. So that's I found to be pretty fascinating, and I thought you'd all like to see it. But okay, that is the end of today's episode. Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Videos will continue next. Have a great day, everybody, and we will see you soon. All right, bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark, and he's from